In this episode of House, we have Cuddy and House at a real crossroad in their relationship, and both characters are experiencing and playing out a lot of their insecurities about the relationship in a series of dreams. So every act, we find ourselves in a different genre of movie or television show. So we have a sitcom, we have a classic movie, we have a musical, we have a western, and we have a horror film. House's dreams will reflect more of his fear as to what Cuddy's going through in this episode. Cuddy's dreams are different interpretations of the life she either imagines that the future could hold for her and House. Today we shot a scene inspired by Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, specifically the end of the film when they're holed up and just about to run out, and we freeze frame on them. So it was a great scene to see. We did a shot-for-shot reenactment of it. A few episodes ago we did a shot-for-shot reenactment of Pulp Fiction, so this was right in our wheelhouse. And it was great to be able to take that inspiration and to translate it in a very Houseian way. So I think if anybody's looking at it and remembers the film, they'll appreciate what we were going for today. The important thing to know about the scenes that we're doing, these dream sequences, that they're not there just to be cute. They all are pushing the story forward. They're pushing the narrative forward. They're telling us something about what the characters are going through. There is a lot of hidden subtext and meaning that's happening, and we get to see in a very visual and entertaining way what it is that they're really happening in their mind, and it's a great way to represent it. But each time we're seeing it, they are very important to the story. We just chose these different genres just to keep it mixed up. The interesting thing about these different dreams is they are all different genres from all different periods of time over the years. We have a 90s sitcom, we have a 50s film, we have a western, we have a classic musical, we have, we are approaching some of these things in a way and in the style in which they're normally photographed, which requires us to do a lot of research, pull up a lot of reference material, because every single one of these is unlike anything we normally do in a day of House. So we've had to go back and kind of retrain ourselves for the framing and the lighting of a 50s movie, for the very specific style and look of a sitcom. And it was great. Specifically with the sitcom, we recreated the impression of House's apartment. So you're looking at a sitcom version of House's apartment if interpreted by a sitcom production designer. So our art department did a phenomenal job putting in the idea of House's apartment into that. And the way we shot that had to be in that sitcom style that people are used to. Actors have to kind of present themselves to the camera and the audience. We had to play that out. The Mia Michaels, we brought her in to choreograph the dance sequence and the song and dance sequence at the end, which is phenomenal what she's bringing to the table, and that is being inspired by all that jazz and Moulin Rouge and some of these great musicals of our time. And that's probably the most departure of anything, because that doesn't really necessarily follow a particular format. But in general, all of these need to really know the genre that they're possessing and not parody them, but really play into them and keep the reality that they're going for. Heading into my 100th hour of television, which is a real accomplishment for me, having remember starting out and being hungry for my first TV gig, which was for Fox's America's Most Wanted. So it was great to kind of see going from reenactments to that, to now reenactments of these dream sequences. And in fact, every single one of these dreams follow a genre that I've never worked in before. So interestingly, everything is kind of colliding at a crossroads here on my 100th hour. When we get out of the hospital and we're just doing location work, I mean, that's always nice, but to go out and not only do location work and to come to a back lot and to come to a place like Universal, which has a great history, is very exciting. And plus, we all feel like we were doing little movies, even more so than we normally are. I always feel like an episode of House is a 42-minute film. I mean, the stuff that our crew and our cast reach for every week is incredible. But to see everybody kick it up another notch, and to really the imaginations and the talent that are at work in our costumes and our art department and our music department is just incredible and never ceases to surprise me. And Gail Tattersall, our DP, is doing phenomenal work, having to really study and understand each of these genres, again, all of which he hasn't really worked in before, so except for the horror genre, to which is right in his wheelhouse, and he's very excited. Heading into my 100th hour of television, I also realize this is my 24th episode of House that I'm directing, that a quarter of my career's work has been spent with the show. And for me, that's been largely due to the fact that every episode of this show is something different. And I've never found myself repeating myself, that there's always something that this show throws at you. Every single episode that I can find is unique and different. To the extreme, like we're doing in this episode, we have the dream sequences. To the bus episode that I won the Emmy for, House's Head, which was completely unique. The episode that we just finished, the Tommy Ran, episode 12, in the classroom where House is teaching the fifth graders at career day, and we're going back and forth between what it was an imagined truth and a real truth. A lot of shows don't have that vocabulary to show those kinds of stories, and David Shore and Katie really have brought together those elements and really created a show that we can house unique talent and be able to do new things every week. So for me, each of these episodes have stuck out for different reasons. Going back to my very first episode, which was episode 5, which was the Christmas episode first season, to this episode that we're doing now. It's been an incredible journey, and I'm glad that House has been such a big part of that.